Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Franklin, and welcome today to Vintage JFD, which gives me a chance to show some of my favorite pieces from over the years and to also talk to some of my favorite performers. So I'd like to welcome today Andie deVaulx and Brianne Barrow Little, who are both performers in the piece you're about to see today. So we just watched the piece together of Bones and Bridges just a few minutes ago. It was performed in 2010 in back of the Arlington Arts Center. They have a very nice outdoor area that is on steps. And I asked both Andie and Brianne to think about what their first thoughts when they remembered back to this piece. So I'm going to let the two of you take over.
Well, I thought it was lovely to see in that space. We were talking about the stained glass windows and how the leaded bars in the glass were very lovely with the against the bridge, and that it was nice to see all the faces of the people that we danced with so many years ago too.
Yeah, and I really remember working hard to put this performance together with such large props and such a story that it's really such classic Jane. You'll hear the story tie back to dogs, of course, a common thread. It was really interesting hearing the community stories, and she also asked us for our own stories, so you'll hear some of those in the performance. And yeah, it was a real treat to see Brianne, G, Wales, Amy. It was a really good time. It was really, really, really fun to make the piece.
Yes, and I just wanted to mention we also have in this piece, the sound is by Dominic Cressois, who was at that point in charge with collecting. We collected some of these interviews together, and the art is by Novi Trump. So without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and get us started on this 2010 version of Bones and Bridges, and then we will talk to you after it concludes. Here it is.
Four Mile Run is a stream in Northern Virginia.
Well, you are the Arlington resident.
I am. I don't know much about it. It's kind of embarrassing. No, I don't know much about it.
The stream's eastern section forms the boundary of Arlington County and the city of Alexandria. The stream eventually empties out into the Potomac River, immediately south of National Airport.
I see dogs in there all the time, so now that I got the dog, he enjoys it, cools him off, especially on a hot day. So then I just gotta bathe him, that's the only thing.
4 Mile Run drains a 20 square mile area in Northern Virginia.
My dog really likes to swim, so it was pretty cool to find a park with a creek running through it. He's like Aqua Dog.
What is creek? 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 What is creek?
40%, or 8 of the 20 square miles in the watershed, is paved or covered with buildings.
I've heard it's polluted, so I don't know.
It contains over 9,000 storm drain entry points.
First thing I think when I walk across the bridge is like, okay, am I going to see someone taking care of their business today? You know, that's all I think. Some things I noticed that never change. There's always going to be someone who is kind of down, doing something weird.
These 260 miles of underground pipe move water at high speeds into 300 feeder pipes. These pipes dump raging, polluted stormwater directly into the stream channel.
Don't get your dog drink the water. Like, it's fine as long as you bathe them afterwards, but don't drink it.
As long as it's not a sewage ditch.
I was there once. The traffic to even get there was terrible.
The dog park is long and filled with after-work professionals prowling with the pooch on the cell phone.
I've heard it's a great place to take your dog, and perhaps if I had a dog, or lived in Arlington, I would actually visit it myself. Polite people with polite dogs. My first kiss was on a footbridge.
Watch where you step.
The footbridge spans new urban development and immigrant day workers.
I always travel to Arlington on the GW Parkway and 395. And when I get there, I just keep driving past the day laborers who are still hoping for work, but at 8:30 are not likely to get any.
Shirlington is an easy commute for me. Most days 10 to 15 minutes door to door, which is a luxury.
So, like, the WETA headquarters are based here. That's odd. Does public television still survive?
Pretty place, simple, calm, noisy with barks and whimpers. When you drive down 4 Mile Run Drive, you would never know about the park or the footbridge or the beautiful graffiti behind all the warehouses and buildings.
My favorite part of the dog park is the lime green graffiti wall.
All right, there you have Bones and Bridges. And I just wanted to add before we get our discussion going that you can certainly make a comment and we will put those comments into our discussion and try to answer your questions as best as we possibly can. So I'm going to throw out, to start, I'll throw out a couple of questions to the dancers again. I'll go ahead and give them a chance to speak a little bit. When we were talking earlier, when we first got on today, we were recalling some of the difficulties about working with that size of prop. So, Brianne, if you want to talk a little bit about your experience with a prop.
In rehearsal, it proved challenging. It didn't always behave as we wanted it to in the timing that we wanted it and needed it to step on and off and get it connected on stage and moved around, which of course, when we were on Marley in a traditional theater space was completely different than on concrete as you saw in the video. So I think there was always, at least I'm just speaking for me, there was always a collective of like, is this going to behave as we needed to? Both for the timing, but also for our safety a little bit, because it was hefty.
Right. And also one thing that I know all of you were involved in is putting the bridge together on stage, which is Andie, do you want to talk a little bit about the experience of putting the bridge together on stage?
Yes, because I had a 1/3 of the bridge pieces. And so my job was to get that end piece to click into place. And anyone who works with metals knows that they expand and contract based on temperature. Also, the longer we worked with the sculpture, it changed. It would be imperceptible to the naked eye, but when you're holding it and manipulating it, need perfect timing and things like that. That little bit of change to it meant that it didn't always do what you expected. And I remember in rehearsal one time putting that end piece in it, I didn't click it in to place. So then when the bridge was being turned over and lifted, it went ka-conk. And it could have been dangerous or
right. I remember I had a spray can of lubricant stuff.
It was hard to get the pieces together after we had worked with them for some time.
Thank you, Alana, for that comment. Dancing on concrete and stairs is no joke. I know these dancers would really, sometimes the speed of which you all were running up and down the stairs was quite impressive, I thought.
And that we probably had an hour to get that the concrete stairs negotiation figured out when we just had that limited time at the Arlington Arts Center. So
right, yeah, and Arlington Arts Center has always been such a great partner for us. We have done year-end events or season-end events there for many years in a row. And again, even this year during COVID times, we were allowed to come into the building and do some video there. And I can't say enough about Arlington Arts Center and the great support we've received there over the years. So just really love their contributions to the arts community in Arlington in so many ways. So let's go over, though. I get. Well, everybody, as you could hear in the story, I got very interested in this subject matter because of a story I had heard called 4 Mile Run: Reviving an Urban Stream, and this was by Dave Eckert, who did a video about this from Virginia Village Productions, and he allowed me to use some of his text in the video. And then dancers, if you want to comment about some of the text as well, I'll put Andie on there because she had some.
Oh, I always love your text, Jane. We come into the studio not knowing what to expect, and then Jane has this really colorful and interesting stories that she often collaborates or interviews for. And then she actually wanted our input as well, our experience commuting to the rehearsal or our other experiences. So I didn't remember this until seeing, but that was my line. My first kiss was on a footbridge. But I have to amend that. That's not entirely true. My first good kiss was on a footbridge. There are a few less notable kisses beforehand.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, those are all very good stories to hear. And it's all part of putting a piece together. So it's been really great to have both of you on. And if you have any other, and those of you who are watching, thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to be putting more of these older pieces on Facebook Live, but also we'll be having a vintage JFD page on our Vimeo on demand. So there'll be some other pieces you can see that we won't necessarily show here. And as we mentioned in our earlier promo, $1 dance, and your contribution goes to support the current company members and our current projects. So I hope you will tune in again to another Vintage JFD. Next weekend, we have a very special project. We're going to show a wrap video of our season ending. There it is. Come next week, December 18th and 19th. It's a fun video project that we put together with a fun storyline, and that was mostly done with video from my backyard. So I hope you will tune in for Wrap 2020 and also for future editions of Vintage JFD. And thank you so much, Andie and Brianne, two of my favorite people. These two people have made wonderful contributions as artists to Jane Franklin Dance, and can't thank you enough for all that you have done over the years. And it's so wonderful for me to look back on these moments. So
thank you for asking. This was delightful, to say the least. Yeah.
Thank you. And so everybody, we hope to see you soon, and I'll just take you out on a couple of little promos again, and have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and go Washington football team. That's what I say. Coming up at 4:30. Don't miss it. All right, everybody. Thanks again. And we'll be seeing you soon, I hope.